Here we are with the HTPC, and it has a problem. With this dinky little fan, it keeps overheating and thermal throttling. Usually the processor stays at 3.8 gigahertz, but when it reaches 65 degrees, then it starts decreasing the speed down to 3.4, 3.2. So yeah, I want to replace that tiny little fan. I recently bought an Intel cooler, a complete cooler. It had a heatsink under it, but I removed it. And I'll try to put this 9 centimeter fan on that heatsink, and hopefully this will guide more air in that direction and get rid of the heat quicker, so it can stay at least at under 60 degrees. 62.3 is okay, but don't reach 65. I'll start by removing the old fan, maybe get some of these cables out of the way. I only put in 2 screws, and as you can see, the fan doesn't cover the whole heatsink, so maybe it will solve the problem if I put in an appropriate size fan. Let's see, how can I fit an Intel cooler on an AMD heatsink? This is also an AMD fan, by the way. This is the stock AMD fan. Exactly from this CPU. Yeah, it's from this CPU. But the heatsink is different now. The original, the stock cooler is smaller than this. So here's the big fan, and let's see how we can mount this on there. So yeah, the legs are clearly in the way. Maybe diagonally. Let's see. Oh, diagonally it fits. Okay, that's progress. But then the mounting mechanism is in the way. So I think I'll just break off those 2 legs and I can keep 2. Or nah, I will break those off too. Maybe twist it a little in a direction like this and go in. Oh, now it fits. Okay, now it's touching the heatsink. So how can I mount it here? Hot glue doesn't provide sufficient vibration reduction, and yeah, maybe I just put it here and try to test it. Where can I plug this in? I'll have to put it in the sys-fan connector, because the CPU connector, I believe, can only support temperature control in PWM mode, but the system fan can be voltage controlled on this main board, I believe. So yeah, I plugged it in. Let's see if it works. And I run maybe a stress test. Let's see. Well, you can't see it. The monitor, you can't see the monitor, but I'm just logging in and start the CPU Z benchmark or stress test. Hopefully. And the CPU ID hardware monitor. Yes, I want to run it. Why does he keep asking me that? Yes, and where's the CPU Z? Oh boy, I have a lot of icons on my desktop. It's good that I'm not showing you that. So, where's the CPU Z? I'll just type it in, whatever. CPU Z, okay, I got it. And the temperatures are at 35 C. And let's start the bench stress test. Stress CPU. Okay. It started. And let's see. Well, this is not a very good test because now one of the sides is open. It's not facing the wall. But let's see first how it performs with an open case. 42, 43, 44, and it increased the the speed of the fan. 45, 46, it also increased the fan speed to 1900 RPM. 47, man, it's getting loud. 50 degrees. Okay, it has 10 degrees more to go before it's unsuccessful. Nope, it's at 50 and 2000 RPM. 51. Okay. 52. Where will it stabilize? It's not throttling yet, that's a good sign. But 53. I want it to stop before 60. Otherwise it makes very little difference. 54 and 2200 RPM. 55 and it's getting louder. 56. Okay, this is not a good idea then. I definitely want to stay under 60. 57. Okay, does it stabilize? No. 58. Man, this is really stupid. Yep, it's getting hot. I can feel it with my hand. Oh boy. 58. I just want to see how high it goes. That's the main scope, the goal of the test. $58. Let's see if it goes higher. But it's a good sign that it's staying more, that it doesn't increase very quickly. 59. And the frequencies are around 3.8 gigahertz, so it's fine. It's not throttling yet, but soon. Let's see. 59. $60. And the fan is at max speed. Let's see if it can handle it. Two 2,500 RPM. I think this is the maximum for the fan. Now it should, the temperature should decrease. Still 60. Two and a half thousand RPM. Now it decreased a little, the RPM, by 20. It's back again. 2512. It's not throttling yet, that's good. So okay, I can safely say that it stays at 60-61 with this cooler setup. And I can load it fully. Full load almost never happens, but if it does, it's good to know that it can handle it. Yeah. So I'm calling it now. 60 degrees and 2,500 RPM. So yeah. That's a good result, considering that it's a crappy fan and a crappy heatsink. So the next step will be making an air duct, probably, for the fan to suck air, cool air from a different place of the case, because the hot air gets trapped inside here. This is a design problem that I did, that the CPU is mostly surrounded. There's a little space here and a lot of space here for the air to escape, but the fan is blowing in top and bottom, not sideways. So yeah, I need to fix that somehow. Maybe put a barrier here on the left side, and then all the air will escape on the other side. Yeah, we'll see. For now, let's look at the results. Yeah, it's at 61 and maximum RPM. Okay, that's kind of good. That's acceptable. I can stop the recording now, and I let you know what I do moving forward.